Hello, my name is Dr. James Costto. I'm a consultant psychiatrist based in London, and I'm medical director of the Growth practice. We run mental health education. I have had various interests over my career, but focused particularly on the mind-body interface, anxiety and emotional dysregulation, looking particularly at the most effective ways of regulating emotions. But over the last 15 years or so, my primary interest has been in adult ADHD. And I work in that field in London. And I've just written a book, which has been published in the last few days by Penguin, called How to Thrive with Adult ADHD. Now, I was introduced to Alpha-Stim when, as part of the Groves work, we were involved in a project to support people following the Grenfell Tower fire in London, which many of you would have heard of. And we collaborated with another team that had worked in the US and had been using Alpha-Stim for a number of years. And I was really excited to learn and read about this device. And we used it as part of our program and our project. But I then did a bit of a deep dive into it in the months and years that followed, started using it on myself with really good effect. And then once I was comfortable, started introducing it to my colleagues and my patients. Now, I've only ever recommended Alpha-Stim for anxiety, for generalized anxiety or anxiety as part of other problems. I've looked at the data and that's where I feel comfortable in terms of recommending it. And I've seen great results with it. Now, just because I happen to have lots of patients with adult ADHD, and anyone who knows anything about adult ADHD knows that anxiety is a really central aspect of adult ADHD. But more broadly speaking, emotional dysregulation can generate huge amounts of anxiety. So when my patients have had really prominent anxiety, I have recommended Alpha-Stim, importantly, not as a treatment of their ADHD, but with a focus on the anxiety symptoms. So anecdotally, that's my experience. And I have shared those experiences in my book, How to Thrive with Adult ADHD, because I believe that we need to broaden our approach to these sorts of mental health and neurodevelopmental challenges. And without doubt, reducing anxiety and improving emotional regulation is fundamentally important. So I'm excited for people to get exposure and understand a little bit more about Alpha-Stim. It's made a huge difference to my clinical practice to the point that I felt empowered enough to include it in my book, even though it's not formally recommended for adult ADHD.